Expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. I'm murderous. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como yé. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. I keep forgetting that I'm also broadcasting live on the nation's newest radio station, 105.3 FM, The Beat. I welcome all the people them here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and around the world. Well, folks, in the state of Florida and in the United States in particular, thousands of students have taken to the street in peaceful protests against the proliferations of guns and gun violence. As I listened to news report and read some of the articles online, my mind is taken back to February of 1983, 35 years ago, when hundreds of local students here on the island of New Providence, led by Dennis Dames, a student from the C.C. Sweeting Senior High, took to the street for better school conditions. February 3rd, 2018 made 35 years ago. And then, of course, next month, April, would make 35 years ago when Dennis Dames and other students inspired students at Aaron Bailey to join them in protests. So there are things here to discuss. When I come back, I shall look at a saved member of the Free National Movement, Minister Warren Miller. Minister Miller has warned the FNM government that the Bahamian people are very disappointed in them, and he has also told the parliament that the people can't feel the FNM. That's a serious indictment. Can this man of God hold on to his mandacy and speak truth to power? They are some of the things that I shall look at. And then, of course, I have been in a trance all day. I got locked trying to get out of the trance because for some reason, the Spirit has taken me to the Minister of Immigration and Financial Services. And let me tell you something. Something fishy is taking place in immigration and financial services. And I want to warn Brent Simonet. Let me tell you, turn back, Brent, for the Spirit has led me to you. You are doing something wrong. And Brent, turn back. Turn back, Brent, because I ain't sure what you came to Parliament to do. But let me tell you, I can smell the essence of corruption outside your office. Turn back, Brent. This is Freedom March. I'm in the spirit today. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also simultaneously broadcasting on our new radio station, 105.3 FM. The Beat. My name is Rodney Monker, and I welcome each and everyone who is now joining me. Last night, Wendell Jones, our competitor, the Negro Chief Executive Officer and owner of Jones Communication, that's the TV station down the road from us, well, he held a special forum in which he hosted the minister responsible for health, Dr. Dwayne Sands. He had a forum to discuss health care as a human right initiative. So there was Dr. Dwayne Sands, who's the Minister of Health. And in addition to Dr. Dwayne Sands, there was also Dr. Robin Roberts, and then the president of Doctors Hospital, Dr. Charles Diggers. And so they discussed health care. And the discussion of health care is fundamental, taking into consideration that yesterday I complained over the fact that there are thousands of our citizens who are in emergency need of proper dental health care. So I'm happy that they are discussing health care as a human right. Are you aware of a former parliamentarian by the name of Edmund Spencer Moxey? Edmund Spencer Moxey was the PLP's candidate in the 1967 general election. He was elected as the representative for Coconut Grove. Edmund Moxey was a man who was a cultural giant in the island of New Providence and indeed the entire Bahamas. If I have it right, Ed Moxey hailed from Ragged Island, but he was a legend. When he became the Member of Parliament, he began a major drive to build a community center and a clinic in the Grove. He did all kinds of fundraising and cultural activities to generate funds for the construction. Well, he was successful in completing the Coconut Grove Clinic. But in September of 2017, the F&M government, the Prime Minister, what's his name? The Right Honorable, is he the Right Honorable? No. The Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis closed down the clinic. You hear what I tell you? And Edmund Moxey, when he died, he was an F&M. You heard me? They closed down Coconut Grove Clinic. And I wondered, where is his heir? His heir at law. The pastor from out east, Pastor Mario Moxey. Are you aware that the Free National Movement has closed down the Coconut Grove Clinic? A clinic that was built through self-help initiatives. But Dr. Dwayne Sands Dr. Robin Roberts, and the other Negro doctor, Dr. Charles Diggers, last night, they had so much to say about health care. But they closed down Coconut Grove to the extent that the Negro woman named Rachel called me yesterday. Rachel is weeping for her child. And like the Rachel of the Bible, she cannot be comforted. They tell Rachel it's closed. You got to find another clinic. Poor Rachel. She is poor and Negro. And she got a couple head of children. So she had to catch the jitney to go to the Blue Hill Road Clinic North. There when she got, the clinic is too small. It ain't got enough space. Ain't got enough facility. And Rachel is weeping for her children. Because Rachel was once a PLP who got fed up. Because the PLP was not doing it the way she thought it ought to be done. And I ain't gonna blame her. Because the PLP did commit some sins. And Rachel turned to the F&M because they promised her better. And they told her, better will come. And by grab, from Edmund Moxie was successful in constructing that clinic somewhere in the Grove. It remained open. And then in September, according to Rachel, they closed it down, the F&M. Now she got to hop on a jitney to get on top of the hill by C.R. Walker, where on their boundary, their southern boundary, is the Blue Hill Clinic. You see how the Negro people are punished? You mean to tell me that Dr. Menace can't find no money to keep Coconut Grove Clinic open? You see what I tell you when I say they got a hog heart? Menace's heart is made from hog. Menace got a hog heart. If Menace did not have a hog heart, he will do everything in his power. One, to keep the Coconut Grove Clinic open. And two, to now go and open it. That's the problem that we are faced with. So Rachel is weeping. And because Rachel is one of the women down, and Rachel is weeping for her children, I am reminded of the Rachel of the Bible who wept for her children and could not be comforted. I tried to comfort the Bahamian woman, Rachel. I had to. I was talking to her by phone, and I had to be kind. But I want to say to Rachel on national radio and national TV, who is your MP? Who's your MP? Isn't Shenandoah Cartwright your MP? Well, fax him. Fax your MP. And if you ain't got no fax, his office is right there on Frederick Street, just below the stairs. You hear me? That's where his office is. In Shenandoah, you should hang your head in shame that, my God, you can't get your party to keep the Poor People Clinic open. Edmund Moxie toiled and he struggled to raise funds to build that clinic because he always believed that the people should be mobilized to raise the necessary resources. But this no good, worthless, good for nothing F&M got the clinic closed down. Huh? Brent Simnett is a millionaire. Brent Simnett is a multi-millionaire. And the longer Brent remains as Minister of Immigration and Minister of Financial Resources, he will become even more a millionaire. Because Brent smart. Brent ain't fool. And Brent know how the thing go. You mean to tell me y'all can't ask Brent to throw a couple of dollars and open up the clinic for the grassroots, for the masses, for the underprivileged, for the Negro woman them, and the children them. But it's closed. But they say, what time is it? What time is it? It's the people's time. But the people's time is not the time for the Negro people. Because it is about who? Friends, relatives, and lovers. And I'm certain that they do not love Rachel. Rachel is not their kind of woman. Rachel is grassroots. Rachel is Negro. Rachel is underprivileged. And they don't want Rachel. And they don't like Rachel Negro children. Shenandoah, what you can do? What you can do, Shenandoah? Will you petition your prime minister? Will you petition him and say to him, Mr. Prime Minister, it is time for the people. It's the people's time. What you can do, Shenandoah? Because Rachel is complaining to me. And I told Rachel and all of them before the general election to come on the beach with me. But they thought I was crazy. They thought I was stupid. I said, listen, don't vote for none of these Negroes. Don't vote for none of these Negroes. Join your Negro leader. Because I is the leader of the woman them. And only me is prepared to get my placards and declare war on my party. My God, you should see Rachel little children them. Little black children with picky head. This isn't the way to treat Rachel. Them little black children is our little black children. Them little children is our children. Them little Negro children is our children. And I don't like how the F&M is treating the Rachels of St. Barnabas, and particularly the Rachels of Coconut Grove. And I need some woman them to pray. Your leader is calling for prayer warriors, because we're going to have to pray ministers and the F&M out of power. Because tell you something you may not believe. When the Spirit led me to Brent Simnett, I said, Lord, it can't be Brent. Brent, we're going to have to get soap, Tide and bleach, and wash your Negro hands. Because your hands, Brent, look dirty. Them hands ain't clean, Brent. We're going to have to hold your hands down and wash them. Rachel, you can't say, I ain't try. I promise you, I can come here and I'm going to curse them out. So Rachel, you see, I told them about your children. I told them about what you are faced with. I told them that they promise you that this time is the people's damn time. What time is it? It's the people's damn time. But y'all ain't the people that ministers want to see. Because y'all got picky head. They don't like picky head people. Y'all is Negro. They don't like Negro. If they love the Negro people, they would have treated us with dignity. They would have been more kind. They would have been more loving. They would have understood the economic hardship that Rachel and her Negro children are faced with. But I try. And I shall continue to try. I shall continue to try. My spiritual advisor is carrying out paternity responsibility. on his own as he safely deliver his daughter from school, he shall join me. I just want you to know that the spiritual advisor is improving. But if you see Pastor Mario Moxie, you tell him I say he should go and check on the clinic that his father sweat and toil and carry on all kinds of cultural events designed to raise the necessary funds to build that clinic. Mario, don't let your daddy legacy fall, eh? Mario, do not let your daddy legacy fall. Don't get confused about whether or not man can rape his wife or hold on his wife. Because for 10,000 years, man has been the conqueror and will continue to be the conqueror and the enforcer for the next 10,000 years. Because the woman them belong to the man them. And it's only through education and socialization that you will get men to rise up and be disciplined and loving. So Mario, leave this rape alone and go check on your daddy legacy. Go check on his clinic because the F&M has closed it down. Go, Mario, quickly before the ants. Go to your daddy grave and tell him what is happening here in the great constituency of St. Barnabas. I hope the people in radio land and in TV land can hear me. You see? So that's them move my thing off my head. And now they got something clip on me. You know they ain't tell me what this name? All they said to me, we're gonna fix you up in a very sophisticated manner. Nobody tell me what this thing name. So I can call it Tingham. Okay? That's the kind of Negro I am. If you don't tell me the name, I name it. So they have me hook up with Tingham, and I need to know, are you able to hear me talking on this Tingham? On radio and on TV. All right? My granddaughter who's in the studio, she said to me, Papa, you look good. I don't know what that means. But that is what she told me. And so I'm humble and grateful whenever Sebastian bring these new kinds of equipment. Got new people here, all kind of new equipment. You know? So this is pretty much. Please lay back, relax. I'll be right back. But I'm going to look at what an F&M pastor has to say. Minister Warren Miller. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. It's expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also simultaneously on radio. We have the newest radio in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It's 105.3 FM, The Beat. My name is Rodney Monker. My air condition is working perfectly. So I'm going to need to be wearing coats soon because it's nice and cool. Well, yesterday, the Negro parliamentarians, they met in Parliament, where there is what they call a mid-year budget. I hope I am calling it correctly. And so members of the Parliament have been making their contribution. Among those who are making a contribution, is a minister of the gospel, a pastor, a man whom I have reserved the greatest respect for, Mr. Warren Miller. Minister Warren Miller. He's a member of parliament in the southwest part of the island. You know, the F&M has a couple of pastors. Remember, there is the Negro pastor from Freeport. What's his name? I can't remember his name, because the last time he made a contribution to the parliament, he half-stepped. He pussy-footed. He did not go all the way. Philip Brave Davis had inspired him and almost got him to be reborn, saved, and recommitted to the gospel of speaking the truth, and once committed to standing on principle, going all the way. But he could not go all the way. He was almost saved, but he misstepped. It was a faux pas. So we now look at another man of God who stood in the parliament to speak truth to power. Power in his party, which is now the government. Minister Warren Miller. The story is written by the respected Negro reporter, Krishna Russell, from the Tribune. And this is what she reports in today's Tribune. Golden Heights MP Warren Miller said yesterday, the Miller's administration is faced with an angry and impatient electorate who feel disconnected from the government. Let's look at what Krishna start the article with once again. Who is this Negro woman? She is one of the Tribune's reporter. In fact, she is described in the Tribune as being their deputy chief reporter. And this is how she started the story. As she reports Minister Warren Miller's contribution to the Honorable House of Assembly. And I repeat it again, because I believe for my people, the Negro people, you have to re-emphasize the facts as to ensure that they get the full appreciation of what is taking place and or what is being said. So let's look at what this Negro reporter wrote. Golden Heights MP Warren Miller said yesterday, the Miller's administration is faced with an angry and impatient electorate who feel disconnected from the government. Bahamians, he said, are not feeling those in power and do not understand the language the government is speaking. Noting the Miller's administration's speech from the throne and its promise to ensure there are adequate provisions to protect homeowners facing hardship. The backbench MP said the Free National Movement was elected on this promise, among others. He questioned how much longer were the people most affected expected to suffer. Let's read that again. I think it's important. Minister Warren Miller, a Holy Ghost man, a man who is saved, sanctified, and full of grace. He questioned how much longer were the people most affected expected to suffer. The FNM MP also very briefly commented on the controversial urban energies issue, saying fossil fuels is a dying energy form. There is a mortgage crisis going on, Mr. Miller said yesterday, as he contributed to the mid-year budget debate. You'd be surprised to know who cannot meet their mortgage demands. I've met many persons, Mr. Speaker, who the banks have foreclosed on, but are allowing them to remain in the home. I met a family, the wife with a terminal illness and the husband unemployed. Their home is up for foreclosure. They are allowed to remain in the home. Every time a police car drives through the corner, they are wondering if it's coming to supervise their eviction. He continued, Mr. Speaker, I remind you that we have made a commitment. The speech from the throne, I repeat it. My government will review legislation to ensure that adequate provisions exist for the protection of home owners. With respect to foreclosure, mortgage protection, the pain, the anguish, the mental and emotional stress. Sometimes they cry, and my brothers, I cry with them. What else can I do? Imagine working most of your adult life, acquired your dream home, and now you are about to lose everything. Mr. Speaker, we promised to bring them solutions and relief. They need it now. Too many people, hard-working Bahamians, are losing their greatest lifetime investments. How much longer do we intend to watch them suffer and lose it all? I understand the challenges, but we are dealing with an angry and impatient electorate. There seems to be a disconnect, and they are not feeling us. The language we are speaking, they are not understanding. There is a disconnect. We are in the Easter season, and as a pastor, oh hallelujah, as a church leader, that's me, oh hallelujah, and going through personal conflicts, we always talk about those on the way to Jerusalem who said, Hosanna, Hosanna. 3 days later, as they exit, they hear, crucify him, crucify him. We've had our Hosanna, and now we are beginning to hear the cry of crucify. Why? Because there's an impatient, there's an unforgiving, there is an electorate who wants it now, and that is the reality of the situation that we are facing. Regarding the proposed Auburn Oil refinery and storage facility, he said, I know of the talk of Auburn, and we can't get into it for obvious reasons. But, Mr. Speaker, fossil fuel is a dying energy form. We have the ability and the capability. Under the last administration, I heard a part of a presentation referring to a marvelous, most wonderful form of technology available to us. We have an opportunity. We have been elected to lead this country in a different direction, a different path, and to empower a generation of Bahamians. Ahead of this 2017 general election loss, former Prime Minister Perry Christie said his administration's revamped mortgage relief program had assisted 350 Bahamian home owners since it was reintroduced. At the time, he called it a significant turnaround from the failings of his government's first attempt at the initiative. Assisting struggling homeowners was one of the Christie's administration campaign promises ahead of the 2012 general election. It was implemented early in its term, but the program underperformed. Leading Mr. Christie to admit in 2013 that only 4 or 5 homeowners were expected to receive assistance. The program has been abandoned by the Minnis administration, who criticized it while in opposition. Mr. Miller also said, despite the country's independence, its most precious natural resources remains in the hands of the elite, while the disenfranchised and poor continue to be ignored. The disenfranchised, the poor, the rejected, the despised of the country, most of whom made it possible for us to get here. They are the ones we forget, and we only remember when it's time to go back to them to re-elect us, to give us an opportunity to serve. Successive administrations have done it, and now we have a wonderful opportunity to change the course of history, Minister Warren Miller said. Isn't that powerful, the speech of Minister Warren Miller? Now let me warn him. Minister Warren Miller, I'm going to pray for you, for you are in a dent of thieves. You are in a dent of men who are not saved. They ain't saved. So you're going to have to pray and fast and watch out for them, because they don't like real man who can stand up and speak truth to power. Lord Jesus, I bring before you Minister Warren Miller. Protect him from an evil and wicked and spiteful F&M government. That is my prayer. In Jesus' holy name. That is my prayer. And I call on the woman them, those women who knows the history of the struggle, those women who are prayer warriors, those women who continues to weep for the country, because the country has moved from what we declared was worse to worse. So we have to pray, because this F&M is a wicked F&M. Oh boy, I thought it was a good speech that Minister Warren Miller made in the Honorable House of Assembly. If only there were more men like Minister Warren Miller. Are there men in the F&M? Are there men? Are there men who can stand up and fight politically? We need more men to stand up and to tell the government it's on the wrong track. Because when Warren Miller said the elites, who you think he mean? He mean people like Brent Simonet. What Brent come back for? What Brent Simonet come back for? Mark my word! Brent is greasing his hand. But Brent, I want you to know that I'm buying a lot of soap to wash your greasy hand. You think I fool, eh? Huh? I know, ordinary Negro. The Spirit has led me to you. And I'm constantly praying and asking the Spirit to put me on the right track. Brent is not saved. And he has an evil and wicked agenda. Brent, you ain't supposed to do this. You are the son of a great Bahamian patriarch, Pop Simonet, Sir Roland Simonet. You don't need to bend down to this, Brent. Stand up and stop doing foolishness, eh? Stand up, Brent. You hear me? And stop it. You know, corruption is not a good thing. But I see you in the spirit. And Brent, you look corrupt. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying you look. And I could see that you see things and you're trying to get them things. But Brent, I want you to stop it. You hear me? Because whenever I see the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, I'm going to tell Papa what the Spirit has led me to see. I see things. I hear things. I know things. Brent's hands are getting greasy. And that ain't right. You hear me? We can buy a lot of soap and wash your greasy hand. Well, 90-year-old, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Thompson. He's in the newspaper. The Tribune loves Paul Thompson. He's a good police, you know. But he was the policeman who had incited the then Commissioner of Police, Sir Lachlan Thompson, to raise up arms to overthrow Pinland. So ain't too many Bahamians are aware of that. I'm aware of that because I sat in the 1984 Commission of Inquiry and heard when Sir Lachlan Thompson, the grandfather of my nephew, told the commissioners. Well, Paul Thompson is concerned over the fact that Assistant Commissioner of Police, Layman Delaveau, and another senior Negro officer did not show up at the magistrate court to testify against them FNM and DNA supporters and members who marched last year, I think March of 2006, over Paradise Island and declare war on the foreigners who had erected a fence to prevent the people them from access. The PLP was in power, and Dr. Minnis led them over. It is interesting to note that the police never arrested the leader of the opposition. I won't tell you why today. I'll tell you another day. But Minnis led them over, and he promised them, come hell or high water, if you're convicted, I'm going to expunge your records. And if you're not convicted, I'm going to end it. And so Minnis, finally, I pushed them by producing historical evidence to show that he can do it. Perry Christie did it, you know. You see, the problem with these Negroes is they don't want to be honest. Perry did it. You remember? Alfred Gray got a son-in-law. What is son-in-law name? Married Alfred Gray, most educated and sophisticated doctor-daughter, Cassius Stewart. Remember when Cassius went in the House of Assembly? Him and Omar Smith, and they handcuffed themselves. Papa was running the country. And they handcuffed themselves. And they were charged. When Christie came to power, Perry Gladstone Christie and the Progressive Liberal Party ordered that all charges be dropped. And if you got political power, you might as well use it. And Cousin Perry ordered it. When he ordered that, and Cassius show up by the PLP rally to woman them, because you know Cassius got little curly hair, and he handsome, and the woman them went crazy over Cassius. So Christie used his political office, and Minnis has done the same thing. So Paul Thompson was a senior police officer. He knows how the politicians use their power. Remember? He got Perry Christie to do a little something too, you know. See, I got good memory. You remember? They had a crooked magistrate. And this crooked magistrate was an old broad. Man didn't used to look for her. Didn't used to look at her. But she was an old broad. And she needed love. Every woman needs love and affection. And there was a distinguished Negro lawyer. I told you all this before. He used to come to court in a tight pants. You know how to do the T's? And he would do the T's. And when the magistrate saw what he was doing, she used to rule in his favor. Nobody could contradict me because I used to quietly document. I said, I can document this because 30 years from today, I'll tell the next generation. And one day, Quaaludes were not illegal. You heard me? But the police seized it because a bunch of young people was taking it and just going wild and crazy. Many of them who went wild and crazy is the same set of Negro who now got political power, want dope to be legalized. And I look at them, I say, look at him with the Quaalude head. You see? Say, they thought I was crazy. But every time they throw a Quaalude, I back on the side. I duck the Quaalude. You follow? Because I said to myself, they ain't gonna make me crazy. And the magistrate ordered over $300,000 worth of Quaaludes, suitcase of Quaaludes. Ordered the police to return it to the lawyer. And that same Paul Thompson, break off run, find Perry Christie, and got Perry to declare it unlawful. All right? But he says that the magistrate or someone ought to find out why the officers didn't come to court. They didn't come to court because they're smart officers. If the government does not want a prosecution to go through, right? Well, that's it. Now, I had a case. See, I'm different from them, where the police wouldn't come to court. But since I didn't break no law, I didn't see that as, wow, this is a way for me to escape trial. I smart. When the police didn't come, I demanded from the court to issue a warrant for his arrest. And everybody said, boy, he crazy? Can't he see they trying to throw the case out? You throw the case out and you accept that if you commit a crime. I ain't commit no crime. So what I did, warrant. And I told the magistrate one time, I say, my lady, I'm still a justice of the peace, and if you don't want to sign the warrant, I'll sign it. All right? But Paul Thompson is upset. Paul, leave this one alone. All right? Menace led the men over the Paradise Island Bridge and broke down the fence. So leave it alone. I'm wondering now when Philip Brave Davis will lead us over the bridge so we could have a chance at breaking down the fence. Isn't that interesting? Let's don't break down the fence. Let's pass law declaring that there will be no beach in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that can lawfully deny access to members of the general public. Now Menace is in charge. Menace, I want to see you bring law. But you ain't gonna bring no law because this is not an Oban's deal. This is not fraud. This is not corruption. So I don't expect you to do that because you are an untrained Negro who does not understand political power. When I come back, although I have all kinds of things to say, I want to read decent Nikki Kelly's contribution. And then I can show you Candia column, the National Review, as the whole country unite in turning back the crooks who's trying to put Oban energy on us. You hear me? And Menace is in shock. All them Conky Joe people who support the FNM, they say no. All them light-skinned Negroes are saying no. Now we, the darker of the Negroes, must push the FNM out politically and peacefully. I wonder what Belinda, what her and the teacher has done today. I don't know. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We're also on radio. This is the newest radio in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. 105.3 FM, The Beat. And to my people, the Haitian people whom I love, it is 105.3 FM, Batla. I welcome everybody here to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Did you see the Nassau Guardian today? Candia has given me such a wonderful national review. She refers to all the foolishness that Menace and his cabinet did from the 19th of February, when they had a whole white man wrote an Indian man name, committed fraud on national TV and on Facebook. And Menace sat right there. Boy, we are in trouble. And Menace pretended as if the white man was an Indian. Then, can you imagine that? A whole white man. You could tell the man is white. He's big and fat. He's white. He has nice curly hair. He get his pen and he writes Satpal Dana. Menace wipe his face. And then got Dr. Dexter Johnson's sister, Camille. You hear me? Who was never a woman of courage. And she signed it too. Not recognizing that under our law, the secretary to the cabinet and the permanent secretaries have statutory responsibility to say to the prime minister and or the minister, Prime Minister, that is not the law. Minister, that is not the law. Oh no, Prime Minister, we have to follow the law. That is what their jobs are. But when the Prime Minister insists, or the minister insists, then you say to the Prime Minister and or the minister, would you kindly put that in writing? So Candia call it quicksand. It's a beautiful article. You all should get the Nassau Guardian. All right? Candia is secretly becoming one of the women them. I'm going to tame her. You hear me? That's the kind of woman that I like to tame. Okay? She's one of the women them. But I'm going to look at Nikki Kelly, because Nikki Kelly is an interesting white woman. I always suspected that Nikki is saved. You heard me? I always suspected it. Let's look at what she said in the Punch. As the nation rally to turn gangsterism back, because don't mind what they tell you. Only me can tell you what the truth is. What Menace them sign? That's fraud. That's gangsterism. All right? But most of you Negroes, y'all are playing sophisticated. Listen, that is gangsterism. And it is contrary to the law. And Menace and his cabinet is guilty of misconduct in public office. You hear me? So let's look at what Nikki says. Menace Oban deal a portrayal of Bahamian people's trust. If there is one word to describe the state of mind of the Bahamian people today, it is shell shock. That's what Nikki Kelly say, the white woman who lives in Bainstown and Grandstown. You didn't know we had white people in Bainstown and Grandstown, eh? Nikki's a Conquistador woman. They still cannot believe, this is Nikki Kelly, that the government, meaning the FNM, they elected with such hope, so quickly betrayed their trust by indentering their country to a group of carpetbaggers. But as the going goes, there are none so blind as those who will not see. That's what Nikki Kelly said. Even though all the signs were there in the man chosen to lead this nation, the stubbornness, the arrogance, the conviction that he is always right, and the mental inability to anticipate the consequences of his action. This is the same man who promised the Bahamian people transparency, accountability, and, quote, no secret deals, end quote, but who now feels he can do whatever he please and is accountable to no one. Thanks to Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, the Bahamas now finds itself entangled in a deal with a group of fraudsters. But I told you all from day one, I could just curse, but it's a sin. And then I can't curse in English. You know, other than that, I could say £5 notes. £5 notes times 10. Okay? Curse. Dirty words. Booyaka. Now I've cursed. And then Ching 142. Nikki, by this revelation, this tells me that when she wrote this article, she was also in a trance. White people could go in trance, you know. Nikki was in a trance. So look at what she says. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, the Bahamas now finds itself entangled in a deal with a group of fraudsters whose frontman has spent most of his adult life on the dark side of the law. Can you imagine? A whole white man on the dark side of the law. That's what Nikki is telling us. That's important for us to remember. Secondly, the legitimacy of the heads of agreement signed with Oban Energy for construction of a $5.5 billion oil terminal and refinery in East Grand Bahama has come into question because two agreements have surfaced, both bearing the name of the same Oban executive, but signed by two different people. We know which one is the fraud. Because the TV news camera in the Prime Minister's office caught the perpetrator red-handed signing the other man's name. But we're still not sure about the second heads of agreement, which was tabled in Parliament because no one knows where it was signed or who actually signed it. And Dr. Minnis isn't saying this. Nikki Kelly. Nikki's a Gunky Joe woman. Nikki, by her very makeup, is supposed to be right there supporting the F&M. But this is an unusual woman. This is a safe woman. And she ain't into no corruption because she's educated into what is good for the country. That's who she is. All right? But she goes on to say, but even more significant is evidence that the individuals identified with Oban are not its beneficial owners. Under clause 17, subsection 10 of the heads of agreement, Oban has been given authority to transfer its rights and lease crown land to any person who that owns or controls the developer, is owned or controlled by the developer, or under common control with the developer. Any lender or other financing source providing funds for the development. Furthermore, government, and I tell you how to stop calling me when I'm on this phone, on this show. Furthermore, government approval of any such transfer is not to be unreasonably withheld or delayed. Under these circumstances, one has to question the Prime Minister's real motive in endorsing such an agreement with a company that has no track record in the oil industry or any other industry, ostensibly for the sake of a few hundred jobs. The Minnis administration also agreed to forfeit its right to demand an environmental impact assessment prior to signing the heads of agreement with Oban and its right to terminate construction of the project if, when the environmental impact assessment is done, it determines that the development cannot, if it determines, I had to do a bunch of copying from the punch and trying to get it so I could open up the fonts. So one or two words may not have been translated correctly. If it determines that the development cannot be implemented in an environmentally safe and sustainable manner, instead the government will have to work with the developer to mitigate any concerns, while Oban retains the right to abandon the project if the government is still unhappy with its mitigation efforts to ensure that there was no interference with this arrangement by the environmental minister. This is key. Romuald Ferreira, Dr. Menace, last August, assumed all responsibility for the Bahamas Environmental Science and Technological Commission, whose job it is to manage implementation of the environmental impact assessment studies. All right? Oban will enjoy a 15 and 25-year tax-free holiday under the Industries Encouragement Act and the Export Manufacturers Act, respectively, plus exemption from VAT on everything required to construct, equip, furnish, and complete the development, as well as on all export once operation has begun. In addition, the Menace administration agrees to speedily introduce legislation amending the Industries Encouragement Act so that Oban can enjoy extended period of tax concessions, which could be the length of the 45 years heads of agreement. Under our system of government, Nikki Kelly wrote, cabinet ministers shared collective responsibility for all decisions made by government, since they have adamantly refused to answer any question by the media. We must assume that there was consensus by all 19 ministers to endorse the Oban deal. Dr. Menace has said only that he will address the matter when it is his turn to speak during the mid-year term or the mid-year budget debate. Information revealed by the local press that Oban and its principals, which was readily available to the National Investment Authority, had they bothered to do their homework, should have set off alarm bells that Oban's project was likely to turn into a snake pit and should be avoided at all costs. Dr. Menace, however, is on record as saying that during the government's negotiation with Oban and before signing the heads of agreement, he was fully aware of the securities fraud background of non-executive chairman Peter Kruger. Mr. Kruger, with Dr. Menace sitting side by side, looking on, was caught by the TV camera, listen to this, signing the name of Oban President Satpal Dana to one of the heads of agreement. So even if the ministers may want to extricate the government from its commitment to Oban, Dr. Menace's admission makes it very difficult to do so, unless a third party is prepared to step forward and challenge the validity of the agreement on the grounds that both the Menace administration and Oban Energies were parties to a fraud. To a fraud. You heard me? And that the heads of agreement no longer has any validity in law. Clearly, the country cannot continue to be governed by a demagogue who is either very naive or very stupid in terms of what is required of a national leader. Members of the cabinet, if they do not wish to be forever smeared by the Oban scandal, have a choice. Otherwise, This is just the beginning of our problems. Last week, Nikki Kelly wrote, Urban Energies published a full-page newspaper advertisement that was supposed to convince Bahamians of the benefit that would accrue to this country from construction of its $5.5 billion oil terminal and refinery. What the ad did instead was provide further proof why nothing about this project or those involved is to be trusted. That's what Nikki Kelly wrote. Having gone on at length about the positives of the project, the ad then refers to New York-based Drexel Hamilton, an investment banking firm who Urban claims to have helped co-manage approximately US $1.3 trillion since 2011 for some of the largest and most recognizable corporate names in the United States. Drexel Hamilton was listed as one of Urban's project partners on its website before Urban wiped out all reference to both its project partners and its management team after the local media published details of the dubious backgrounds of some of the individuals involved. However, Urban claimed to have helped Drexel Hamilton co-manage $1.3 trillion since 2011 is highly unlikely, since Florida state records indicate that Urban was founded in 2014. Yet these lying people, that's me now, not Nikki, claim that they were managing money from 2011, 3 years before they were actually formed. Nor does there appear to be any truth to Urban's claim to have co-led a $500 million bond offering for the Dominican Republic, which it says helped fund construction of a power plant on the south shore of the island. According to International News Report last June, the bond offering was led by Drexel Hamilton and Stifel Nicholas and Company, the latter a brokerage and investment banking firm that also happens to be one of Urban's project partners. There was no mention of Urban's, and the bond issue was not used to fuel construction of a plant. In fact, the proceeds of the bond issue were to be used to complete construction of a coal-fired power plant that was begun but never completed by Obrich, some strange name, a Brazilian construction company, at the heart of an international bribery and corruption scandal that reached the highest levels of government in the Western Hemisphere. It is rather ironic that Urban, which is bedeviled by its own fraud issues, should claim to have been involved in funding a power plant that fell victim to a corrupt company. I had to read all of this to you so you can see what Nikki Kelly is saying, because it complements what Candia has written in this paper. You hear me? It's gangsterism. And Minnis is not ashamed of it. Marvin Dames, who's the Minister of National Security, who is supposed to get the police to arrest fraudsters and gangsters, Marvin is looking the other way. That's what we are faced with. It's gangsterism. It's fraud. You hear me? No example being set for the people then. None. That's what we are faced with. And I'm annoyed by it. And I thank God for people like Candia Dames, people like Nikki Kelly, other patriotic, loving Bahamians who would look at this weightless, corrupt F&M government. You hear me? And today, I shall make a prophecy that when the PLP comes to power, it shall appoint a royal commission of inquiry, and it will lead the royal commission of inquiry when it examine two people, two Negroes, Brent Simnett. It will be found that he is the second element in this concoction. It will also find that notwithstanding Boxer, the brother of the Prime Minister, looked simple and docile, he too had great influence. This is a corrupt deal, and in the spirit world, I see Brent Simnett. Lord, I do not impugn his character nor his reputation, but I see Brent Simnett, and Brent is not clean. Brent has betrayed the people's trust. Brent, who knew better, has misled Menace. Brent, who knows better, in the spirit world I see him. I see Brent. I hear Brent. And Brent's hands are not clean. And I'm prepared to challenge these no good citizens. You hear me? Y'all can't fool me. I from Black Village. Y'all can't fool me. You hear me? This is corruption. We must move swiftly to get rid of this government. Dame Joan Sawyer ably made a prediction that the way Menace and them are governing, they will not last 5 years. And when you hear a prophecy that a government will not last 5 years, it is your duty to make the prophecy come true by mobilizing peacefully, by rallying and then sally, because we have to save this country. They have no shame. Menace as a Negro man has no shame. He does not appreciate what God has given to him, what God through the Bahamian people has awarded him to lead us. And he had a unique opportunity, but he listened to Brent. You hear me? Anyone who is smart would recognize that when Menace gave Brent Minister of Immigration and Financial Services, he gave him an economic pie, because the people who Brent reflects, that is what they need. They need immediate access to labor, immediate access to financial dealings and contract. But cursed be the day when Menace listened to Brent. May Brent Simnett buck his big toe. You hear me? On the right foot. And may Brent Simnett buck his pinky toe. I want him to buck his big toe. I want him to buck his pinky toe. I want Brent to buck his 10 toe. Because Brent is not saved, and he, in the spirit world, is who I see behind it. Brent has taken advantage of Menace. That is what is happening here. Remember this date, the 14th of March 2018. You may never see me no more. You may never hear from me anymore. But if you remember anything that I say, Brent Simnett is the political and economic demon behind this mess that we are faced with. They can't fool me. I live right here among these Negroes, and Brent is so disappointing. Here is Brent Simnett, a wonderful Negro man who had an opportunity to help to save the country. But as Nikki Kelly rightfully has written, they have made the country an indentured servant to Crooks. To Crooks, a man who broke the British American Insurance Company, and a man who jacked up CLECO, that today we have to pay CLECO insurance We have to pay them. It is time to march, my people. Let us march, because Rachel, she's still weeping over the mess that we are faced with. This is Freedom March. My party leader, my party.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm so excited. My spiritual advisor is here to join me. Rodney, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker. It's always a pleasure to be here with you in Freedom March. I see you have a lot of passion today.
Yeah.
For the politics that's going on in the Bahamas. You have to take it easy, Mr. Monker. You're 61.
This is true.
And listen, I do believe, and this is my humble opinion, I do believe that God has placed you here in the Bahamas as a political activist for a purpose.
I thank you for those kind words.
But remember now, you got to serve that purpose out.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't unnecessarily end that purpose by becoming so engrossed and, so involved in the politics that you just work your emotions over your pressure.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do that,
You don't want me to go to heaven now?
No, well, when we die, we either go to paradise or Hades.
Okay.
We need to talk about that because I want you to go to paradise and not Hades.
Paradise or Hades?
Paradise or Hades.
Okay.
But I'm happy to be here with you here on Freedom March. But listen, I if I'm not mistaken, while driving my daughter home, you had some concern about this clinic, I think, that is closed.
Yes.
I have some information for you.
You have some information, my spiritual
I
advisor?
need to pass on to you.
Well, go ahead. Is it open?
No, I spoke with the honorable member for St. Barnabas. That's the Honorable Shannon Don Cartwright.
Okay.
Right?
What is he reporting?
Who has informed me he wanted to speak with you, but unfortunately you're a man so busy you don't take time to answer your phone.
He called
you
me?
would have had this information
He called
prior
me?
to coming on the show. Yes.
Really?
Check your phone.
Okay, and what is he
Okay,
reporting?
here's what's happening. The constituents had complained about the clinic, all right, and the conditions of the clinic. So he said on the campaign he had promised that once the FNM government came into power, that they would do some repairs. The number one repair, of course, would be the roof that was experiencing some leakage, and the internal aspect of the clinic needed some renovation. So currently, the roof and the renovations are, I understand, they are almost completed, and the clinic is awaiting a date for reopening, which he was not privy to. He did state that he'll have to check with the Minister of Health, your good doctor, Dr. Dwayne Sands, as to when exactly that clinic would resume.
But he claims
business.
that repairs are being done
Yes,
to the roof.
and have been completed at some point.
And have been completed.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what else has been completed?
Yeah, and they're just waiting on a date, I think, for reopening, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, if they need to open it tomorrow.
You can't do that, Mr. Monk.
Why?
It's a process.
Why?
There's
Is the
one or two
clinic
things-
ready?
Yeah, there's one or two
But
things
if
that
the
has to
clinic
be...
is ready, open up the
Right.
clinic.
Only Dr. Dwayne Sands would have
Dr.
information.
Dwayne
So
Sands, would you please open up the clinic? All right? Because Rachel is weeping.
Yeah, but you didn't understand what happened first. So you're not even trying to figure out, try to appreciate what the Member of Parliament and the Free National Movement has done in changing the environment and the way the
we shall
building...
inspect it tomorrow.
Let's do that.
Okay?
Yeah,
We
let's
shall
do that.
inspect it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Mother Rachel, I want you to go and inspect it yourself.
And while we're doing the inspection, I got some photos from Mr. Paul Willie on the bathrooms that are being refurbished.
Well,
at
I
the
want you to
Fish
know
Fry.
that a cab
Beautiful.
driver called me last night.
Beautiful.
And he said to me, he began to count the lights that were off.
Oh, that were off.
That were off.
Right.
And so I went to Arawaki.
What do you see?
And the majority of the lights are off.
The majority of lights are off.
Okay?
Did you take any photos?
I don't need to take photos. I'm able to tell when lights are
The
off.
last time me and you were there, we did about, was it
39.
39?
Yeah.
37 or 39?
39.
39.
All right?
How much did you count last night? How much was on? Because he did say a few of them were on.
The vast majority were off.
How many were on?
I didn't go into
You
the
see?
counting.
Anyhow, let me go and check it out myself tonight.
Let me go and
Okay,
check it.
let's do that.
You and I.
Yeah, let's.
All right?
let's-
Because you trying to cover up for Paul
No,
Willie.
nobody trying to come for Paul.
You hear me?
The work is being done. I
And
have the evidence on the phone.
The
work
Right
is being done.
Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram is angry because Papa never taught that the F&M would be as weightless as it is. The good thing about it is, I, Rodney Monker, I am authorized to speak on the behalf of the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, the former Prime Minister, subject to the conditions that I never tell a lie. All right? And Papa say, even when he ain't tell me nothing, if I speak truth, I may speak it in Papa's name. Isn't that powerful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look.
Very powerful.
The Anglican Church, okay? I don't know why I'm doing this to for the Anglican Church, but they give me some ticket and they say to me that they would like for me to give out these tickets. And I told them that notwithstanding the fact that I'm very displeased with Archdeacon James Palacios, I shall do God's work here on Freedom March. And they have raffle ticket. They want you all to buy some raffle ticket to help that ancient church in Adelaide. That's where Governor Adelaide established that African village. Because when the British, wrong about 1810, start enforcing, and trying to stop whatever
me.
that was in 1800, the slave trade, a bunch of Africans who were rescued were placed there, all right, and became inhabitants. And among those Africans were the great-great-great-great-grandfather of the late Paul Lawrence Adderley. Okay? So we can help the church. And so they have raffle tickets. First prize, Caribbean cruise. Frame, Chan Pratt, print. 3 sets of ladies golf club. 2 cell phones. 2 cell phones again. 2 from BTC and 2 from Alive. 2 round trip to Florida. Bahamas Air. Night stay comfort suite. $500 gift certificate, super value. $500 gas voucher, Sun Oil. Designer handbag, anonymous. Watch, anonymous. Color printer, on the Amory Company. Tickets are $2. And you can find them every Saturday at Cable Beach Super Value and every day at Boygo Car Rental, Camp Road. Okay? So I need you to buy some of these supper sale tickets to help St. James Anglican Church. And then on April the 2nd, that's Easter Monday, the Negroes there will assemble and they are going to have native treats, including conch salads, conch fritters, pastries, and gully wash. And the menu for these tickets is chicken or fish dinner. Now, Father James Palacios, if you're going down there, you make sure that the priests don't put too much spirits in the gully wash. All right? I have some phone call. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, Mr. Manker.
Hello, my love.
Hello, spiritual advisor.
My spiritual advisor, can you hear the woman?
No.
Hello, spiritual advisor.
Listen, the spiritual advisor can't hear you because they wouldn't cut on the mic inside this theater.
Okay.
But they got something pushed deep in my ear. I've never had anything pushed this far.
Mr.
And
Manker,
I could hear you, yes.
You are talking about the Old Grove Clinic?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, my love. Spiritual advisor, you could hear the people then?
Yeah, what did she say though?
She wanted to know if I was talking specifically about the old Coconut Grove Clinic.
Okay.
All right? Anybody else on the phone?
Yeah. Somebody's there.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello?
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You can see these things about them got in my ear?
Yeah.
Right here. Huh? I'm talking to you. Hello?
Hello?
Can you see this thing they got in my ear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can.
Can you hear me nice and clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is powerful. How do I look without
Yes, sir.
the thing on my head? How I look? Woman?
You look awesome.
I do?
Yes, sir.
This is powerful. Now, what's on your mind? Speak to me, sweets.
Yes, sir. I had something disturbing happen to my grandchild at school today.
Really?
While the teachers was on strike.
What happened?
To see H. Reeve, while there was no teacher there to overlook the children, 17 of the children went ahead and they drank the thing named
What did they drink?
lean.
What
they
they drink?
lean.
What?
So it was 17 of them
What they drink?
lean.
Lean? What is that?
That's one drug that a little boy mixed and give it to the children.
How old these children is?
They are between the ages of 12 to 13.
And when you drink it, what does it do to you?
It makes them sleepy, and if you drink too much, it could have killed them.
Really?
My grandson right now is in accidents in emergency
Oh, wow.
at the hospital.
Wow.
How many other children are there?
It's 16 more of them.
At the hospital?
Well, I don't know who all went to the hospital, but they advised me to take my grandson to the hospital.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope the people in Eyewitness News
Yes, sir.
in this station is listening to what you were telling me so they could go and investigate. Listen, do you know if they're returning to school tomorrow, the teachers?
Yes, sir. They need to.
No. Listen to my
and they
question.
need to pay the teachers so the teachers could be there to deal with the children.
Listen to me. Do you know if there are plans for
Yes, sir.
the teachers to return tomorrow? You don't know. Okay, I'm so sorry what has happened.
Well, no, I don't know, but if they don't, I will leave my children at home.
Okay, well, if they don't come to school, I may have to organize where I march the children to Black Village. I got one big piece of yard, and I can set up blackboard. And I may have the whole
Yep.
school, okay? But Jeff Lloyd should
Yes, sir.
straighten
And I am
things out.
one of the women them, and you are my leader, and they are your children.
Listen, as leader of the Woman Dam, I'm going to have to call on Sister Belinda Wilson to call me to let me know what's going on. All right? You take good care. I shall pray for your grandchild.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Lord, I thank you. The thousands of my people, the Woman Dam, they are submitting to my leadership. These are true women of courage. Melinda Wilson, please give me a call again. I'd like to get an update because I was told that you have hundreds of teachers outside the Mabel Walker headquarters of the union. I need to know what's going on because I believe in the union and I believe in strike. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Manga,
Sir,
how you doing?
listen, I'm fine. What's going on?
Special advisor.
Hey, Bonnie, what's up, man?
Everything cool. That's
Bonnie.
breaking news. That's breaking news from that lady.
Okay, you're not aware of that situation then?
No, I ain't aware of that situation.
Bonnie, let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. As a man who's on the streets, right?
Yes, yes.
Whatever this is she's talking about, how would kids be able to get this into school?
How they'll get them into school?
Mm-hmm.
Just like how they'll get the knife or probably the ledge, gun or whatever. So you gotta understand, right? Children could go on Sunday and do this, throw anything around the school. And then you won't really searching them right down. And the day was a slack day when the teachers wasn't there.
Bonnie, let me ask you a
Anything in
question.
there?
Are you familiar with that drug?
No, sir.
Have you ever heard of it before?
No, sir. I never heard about it.
Okay then. I want you to see, without getting locked up,
Yeah, investigate it for us.
see if you could find out any
Yes, I can
information.
investigate it for you all.
right.
Last thing, Mr. Manta,
Sir,
you taught me from a little boy to march when it's time to march.
oh yeah.
Well, I'll be marching tomorrow.
What are you marching about?
Well, I'll march for all kind of stuff. When it comes to our Rugganite and our soil and at least our sand and stuff like that.
Natural resources.
You can imagine taking the salt and sending it to the United States if we got to buy it back.
Where are you marching to?
For, you know,
My Negro brother,
Huh?
I want you to listen to me.
Let me listen to you.
Where are you marching from and to?
Where they marching from and to?
Where are you
Well,
marching
they
to?
want to go straight on Rawson Square, so I was told.
Oh, okay.
Who's leading you there?
Well, nobody leading Bannister there. Well, when Omar Archer them said they want to march and other persons were marching, everybody on social media blowing it up, and they want to march for certain things, even for the PI thing. With
Y'all
the gates.
marching against this government?
Well, I don't think they're marching against government because it don't have nothing to do with PLP and F&M.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's for land. Land. It's for sand. It's for soil. It's for not soil but salt. All these things, Mr. Munka. Mr. Munka, I wish you could bring some placards out there. We'll march for everything.
Just hold on a
Except
second,
for
my Negro
sodomy.
brother. My Negro brother,
Huh?
I want you to listen to me for
Yes,
a
I can
second.
listen to you. I can listen.
Okay. If you are marching for land,
Yes.
who will you be demanding that they sign the Crown Grant?
The Prime Minister.
So you're marching on Minis.
Yes.
That is a good march.
Because he in charge of
important,
Crown Land.
Okay?
But we ain't gonna march for the party politics sake. We gonna march for righteousness for our children.
Okay. Once you're marching against Minis, it's righteous. You have my blessing, but I want you to do it peacefully, okay?
Yeah, no violence and spiritual advice,
Okay.
Mr. Manka.
Yeah.
It's alleged that SIB will be out there in full uniform.
Who's SIB?
And stuff.
The
Now,
Security
Mr.
Intelligence
Manka,
Branch.
Who's SIB?
the police.
I want to hear from
Okay,
him.
go ahead, Manny.
The police.
Okay, listen.
Spiritual
The
advisor.
police are our friends, okay?
Yes, I know, Mr. Manka.
Yeah,
The
quickly.
last time we marched downtown,
Yeah.
Mr. Ingram them let the dogs out at us.
Really?
You remember
Papa?
that? You remember that?
It was Papa?
And listen.
Don't blame that on Papa. Papa had nothing to do with that. Must Minis let them dog out.
Mr. Manka.
Yeah.
Mr. Marvin James
Yeah.
was pointing out the people to get locked up for Tommy Tanquest, my cousin Marvin James, and many other police on my WhatsApp who I know.
Marvin is
Name I shouldn't
F&M.
call.
Use F&M. The police
He
is
was,
F&M.
listen,
That ain't
Marvin
real lock
James
up.
wasn't no politician. He was a police, and Tommy Tanquest out there, and they lock up. Your boy, free thinker. Nautica Simmons' son,
Yeah.
he got locked up from the police.
Yeah, but if you all get locked up tomorrow, listen to me.
Huh?
If you all get locked up tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
that ain't real lock up. Because the police is F&M.
I'm
Marvin is
PLP.
But the
F&M.
law don't change.
And y'all is F&M. You take good
I
care.
don't change like what spiritual advisors say.
Yeah, the law.
I got to let you go. I got plenty people on the phone,
Understand.
and it's almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Mr. Monta.
right.
Yes.
You must understand that every time the PLP or the F&M in power, the police is get a little loose, but that's their job. All right.
Listen.
Nah, the people shouldn't go there tomorrow to get on loose. They should
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. All of y'all is F&M.
Huh?
All of y'all is F&M. Go
No, I
march
should be here,
on your
but I
government.
vote F&M.
Take it
I
care,
like you.
Bannister.
I like you. Enough respect.
Okay.
All right, Barney.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? If you don't cost me, don't give him no ticket out today. Hello? Next caller. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine.
All right. What's on your mind?
Hi, what's on my mind, Mr. Monko? You look so young and handsome.
You really think so?
Yeah.
I'm 61.
Yeah, man.
And I look young?
You look young and handsome. Even when you angry, you look good.
If the F&M was treating me, I would
Hi,
have
spiritual
good. I would have been
advisor.
even looking better.
Yeah. Hi, spiritual advisor.
Hi, good afternoon.
What
How
island are
doing?
you calling from?
Pardon?
Where are you calling from?
Right here in Nassau. This
Well-
ginger, Mr. Monko.
Ginger, this you?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
I just ain't called you for a long time. I was too busy, man.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
There is a Negro woman. I got
Uh-huh.
2 tickets to give out. If you could answer this question, what Negro woman who is a political activist that I declare to be a communist, what's her name? You get 2 tickets. Can you think of who she is?
Lord, Mr. Monko, tell you the truth, I even didn't know.
But let me try. Let me give you one more to see if I can give you 2 tickets.
I can't answer that because I don't know.
What date did the Prime Minister sat down while a whole white man committed fraud. Can you remember what date that was? That's an easy one. Somebody won 2 tickets yesterday with that date.
Mr. Wonka.
You can?
Mr. Wonka, I lost on that.
Okay, Ginger. Think
I
about
lost.
it.
But I just want to say, I want to send special shouts out to Glennis Anna Martin.
Okay, Glennis Hannah Martin.
Yeah.
She's a
from
woman
Ginger.
of courage. Glennis, there's a shout out to you.
Yeah.
Ginger, get
Uh-huh.
ready because it's almost time for me to lead the woman then into another match, okay?
Okay.
You coming?
Yeah.
You're a good woman. I still
All
your
right.
leader? Am I your leader? Ginger,
Yes, Mr. Wonka.
am I still your leader?
Yes, you are.
And you're willing to submit to me?
Yes, you are, Mr. Wonka.
You're a powerful woman. May God bless you and may
All
you
right.
continue
Say hi.
to
Say hi
submit
to-
to man.
Hi, Miss Wonka.
Hey, is this the baby there?
Yeah.
How are you?
Good?
Look here. I'm going to give you 2 tickets.
Yeah.
You don't leave. You tell the
Bye.
man what your number is, and these 2 supper sale tickets is for you
Uh-huh.
on Easter Monday, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Give them the number. When I heard the child, I remember what Jesus said. What did Jesus say about the children now?
Let them come,
Oh, hallelujah.
for such is the kingdom of heaven.
Read some text, my spiritual advisor, because the time is running
Yeah,
out
maybe
on
get
us.
5 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see what we have here, Mr. Wonka.
Yes, could you answer which woman have I declared to be a communist in the country? There's no colors?
We have some information on this.
This drug?
Yep.
What is it, my spiritual advisor?
It says Leanne, which is spelled Lean. Is that Lean? Lean?
I don't know what the heck it is.
Lean is a popular drink that originated from Houston, Texas.
Really?
Yeah, it contains promethazine
Goodness me, what is
with
that?
codeine.
I know it's
syrup,
codeine.
And, oh, yes, I remember this. The Americans did warn against this. And Sprite soda.
What the Americans said?
They warn against this. Okay, Lean, let me read this so I don't get distracted. Lean is a popular drink that originated from Houston, Texas. It contains promethazine, that's promethazine, promethazine, with codeine, codeine, syrup, and Sprite soda. A Jolly Rancher candy is also included. They mix the ingredients and put it into a styrofoam cup and drink it. It's a purple colored drink. Thanks to the codeine mixed with the promethazine, the drink gives you a happy feeling. Afterward, it comes drowsiness and a floating feeling of highness. It's popular among American kids and promoted by several rappers such as Future, the Migos, and Gucci Mane, whoever these people. Oh boy, I tell you.
Don't worry about that.
It's amazing.
Listen,
We live in this.
stop taking
New
drugs.
age.
Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
Stop allowing people to make things and giving it to you to drink. I'm 61. No one in my 61 years was able to give me anything unlawful to take. Y'all children learn sense, okay? Before y'all die. Now, I promised a Negro woman that I was going to talk, goodness of mercy.
Here's
I
an
promised
address.
a Negro woman that I was going to talk about the mall on Blake Road. Remember that building where they do all kind of training? Well, it's infested with mold. And I asked the government, especially Romy Faralda, to do something about it. Now tomorrow, when we come back, we want to look at some of the criticism about Romy. Romy Ferreira is the environmental minister. He was the peeping Tom on gas. Where? In Marathon. You remember? When he said Jerome Fitzgerald knew that gas was in the water, but told no one. You remember that? Now Romy got $5.5 billion worth of gas. And Minnis tie his tongue. Now, Candia, you're not being fair to Romy. Minnis is in charge of the BESS, the Bahamas Environmental and whatever that group is called. And Menace took it over deliberately last year. Remember? Menace is a political trickster. He took it because if Rummy was still in charge of it, Rummy would have said to him, PM, this is damaging to the environment. But Menace is a political trickster. In fact, Mama would have described him as a political Eskimo. All right? So that's what's going on. Hello, can't you see him on TV? You have to call the show and say that. You're not allowed to say that. What? Well, we'll do it again tomorrow. Okay? Oh no, I can't do that because I'm going to be accused of corruption, and I'm an F&M. And we are finding that F&Ms are guilty of corruption.
I want to read this text quickly.
Go ahead quickly, my spiritual advisor.
Senator, I'm highly disappointed in you. At one point, you had a police officer on your show discussing this Lane drug. You dedicated a whole show to it, and the police officer was educating the people on the upsurge of it. Have you forgotten? You've had an opportunity in the show to look at it. Lane is Sprite soda mixed with cough syrup and Jolly Rancher candies. It makes you mellow, calm, sexual, and sweet. A lot of young people are using it now as a subversion to marijuana.
Okay, but you better stop, or you're gonna die. Simple as that. Tell your children stop taking drugs. Listen to your parents. My parents told me never to use drugs, and I'm 61, and I ain't used none yet. All right? Stop using drugs. Stop doing what you see white people do it. White people got more sense than us. So if you see them taking drugs, you keep out of that. This is Freedom March.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.